Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWAS. Denver, Minnesota, Game 3. Coming off a couple nice nights for me, NBA-wise. I went 2-0 on Tuesday night. Then Wednesday night, I had Knicks minus 4.5. I'm recording this on Thursday evening. It's 4:30 p.m. So I don't know how we did on Thursday night yet. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, I had a good one. But yeah, Denver, Minnesota, Game 3. Let's roll.
Welcome to the SWAS. The SWAS. Hey, get the sauce.
All right, so like I said, Denver's in Minnesota for Game 3. T-Wolves are laying 4.5 points at home, and the total sitting at 204.5. Super low total in this one. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 1-point Minnesota win. Final score, 104-103 T-Wolves. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with the Nuggets. Reggie Jackson is on the report. He got banged up in Game 2, if you remember. Reggie Jackson is listed as questionable, so we'll have to wait and see for him. On the Minnesota side, Rudy Gobert listed as probable. So it looks like Gobert might return. He's not injured, though. He had a kid, I believe. So looks like they're expecting Gobert to return for this one. So let's talk about Game 3 here. We all know how this series has been going so far. It's been very one-sided. Minnesota goes on the road into Denver, takes both games, and I've loved every second of it. I had Minnesota in both games 1 and 2, so I'm loving that. If you take a look at the Denver offensive numbers in this series, all worse than the second round. So they have a 97.8 offensive rating, 89.5 points per game, and a 16.9% turnover rate. All three of those metrics are 8th out of 8. So out of all 8 teams in the second round of the playoffs, no offense has been as bad as the Denver Nuggets so far. And the Nuggets played both those games at home. It's kind of crazy. And now they go on the road where, if you go by the numbers from this regular season, they are noticeably worse. I mean, they go from the 4th best team in the NBA efficiency-wise to the 17th best on the road. Offensive efficiency drops from 4th to 18th. Defensive drops a little bit too. So definitely a tough spot. If you're a Denver Nuggets fan, you don't feel great about where you're sitting right now. Jamal Murray, as I'm sure you've heard, is, put it delicately, not playing his best basketball right now. In fact, he's been pretty terrible. 12.5 points per game in this series, just 9 of 32 shooting, 2 of 8 from 3, 6 assists to 5 turnovers in this game. He's only got 6 assists in the series to 5 turnovers. And the MVP, Nikola Jokic, he's not really playing well either. 24 points per game, okay, but he's 16 of 38 shooting, 2 of 10 from 3. He's got 17 assists to 11 turnovers. Jokic averaging 5.5 turnovers per game in the 2 games so far. Not a whole lot of upside to talking about this Denver Nuggets team right now. Now, if you're looking for something, if you're trying to bet Denver in this game and you need a reason, I mean, I guess you could point at the fact that Minnesota was actually better on the road this year. As far as net efficiency goes, 4th at home, 4th on the road. Look at the offense. 22nd at home, 10th on the road, but they were the number 1 defense in the NBA at home this year. But at least the offense drops from 10th to 22nd, and actually the same kind of pattern in the playoffs as well. Net efficiency-wise, at home, they're just the 4th best in this postseason so far, 1st on the road. So Minnesota was actually the best team on paper on the road in this playoff so far. So maybe you could say Minnesota hasn't been playing as well at home, so that's a reason to bet Denver. I mean, I'm just trying to give you something here. I don't want this video to be one-sided, but straight up, if you're betting the Nuggets here, there's no data that's going to back that bet up. You're betting on the defending champions to show up down 0-2, which I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that's what you're going on. There's no numbers that support a Denver Nuggets bet here. I mean, if you just look at the way these two guys are playing, Anthony Edwards averaging over 32 points per game in the playoffs, 54.7% from the floor, 41.9% for 3, and Karl Anthony Towns is heating up in this second round, 23.5 points per game, shooting over 64% from the floor and 55.6% from 3. And like I said before this series, when I took Minnesota in Game 1, if Karl Anthony Towns is comfortable taking that second scorer role in that offense, Minnesota might be the best team in the NBA. It's truly dangerous. Their defense is already the best in the NBA. It was all season. But with Towns in that second scoring role, they might be one of the best offenses in the NBA as well. So like I said, if you're betting Denver here and you're counting on the defending champs and the MVP to show up and not get swept, I get it, but I'm going to go with the data here. Clearly, on paper, Minnesota's the much better team, and we've seen it so far in this series. 4.5 is a short number. I bet Minnesota in games 1 and game 2. I'm not bailing on them now. Taking the T-Wolves minus 4.5. If I had to bet the total, probably would say over, I guess, because it's super low, but I'm not touching the total, to be honest. Just give me Minnesota minus 4.5. Live show, 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. We'll go through the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, and all 15 MLB games. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. If you want my top bets for NBA or MLB, or you want the top bets from anyone on the staff here, head over to KyleKirms.com. They're all posted right there on the website. Let's have ourselves a good Friday night here. Hopefully, by the time you're watching this, I had a good Thursday. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.